It is 8:34 on Saturday, May 31st, 2025. Just got off the fuel dock. Got a little petrol, hopefully all we'll need for the season, and a pump out. So we're starting. That won't be the only one for the season, no. But we at least got a fresh start since we've been using it for about a week now. And it looks like we may actually get the sail on inside the breakwater for a change. Well, it is, should have looked at my watch first, I never do. Let's see, 10:06, Saturday, May 31st, 2025. So we left the fuel dock, what, about an hour and a half ago?
Yep.
The Wisconsin shoreline is shrinking. It's still very visible. Raleigh Point out there. And we're steering as close to the wind as we can get. Huh, we're close hauled for a change. That's unusual. We're never close hauled. We're never beaten to windward, are we? So anyway, yeah, close hauled, just trying to gain as much ground on the Michigan shore as we possibly can. Right now we're headed pretty much straight at Sable Point, Big Sable Point. And so we'll have the option of going south to Pentwater or north to Manistee. We kind of hope to make Portage Lake, possibly even Frankfort today, and unless the wind backs substantially, we are probably not going to make that. So I bought one of these little gizmos because our wind instruments were giving us some fits last year, and I didn't replace them this winter, so I thought, well, might be nice to have some indication what the wind is doing if our anemometer gives up the ghost. It's working pretty good now. I cleaned up all the contacts at the masthead, and hopefully that was the issue. Anyway, we checked that out a minute ago because we started layering up because we were getting cold and one layer didn't help. So another layer, then another layer. Anyway, that little gizmo says it's about 48 degrees out here, 41 with the wind chill. It's a gorgeous day.
It is.
Just kind of a hazy overcast. Supposed to be some smoke from wildfires up in Canada. But yeah, it's chilly out here. And we've been up here this time of the year, but I don't remember it ever being quite this chilly.
Yeah, I've dressed in layers.
Yeah, I know, but only when we're out on the water. It's been cold on shore, too.
Yeah, that's true. It's been cold on shore.
It was warm on land if it was an offshore breeze. It was cool on land if the wind was coming off the lake. But it's just been cool all the time lately here, so.
And overcast and rainy.
And overcast and a lot of rain too, so. Anyway, might film a little bit more a little later.
You gotta do it, because come January, you're gonna want to know.
I'm gonna be wanting to watch our sailing vacations on video.
Yes.
rollers are pretty good sized. What's that? Of course, until I turn on the camera. And then the camera never does them justice anyway. So difficult to see on this, I'm sure, but there's the Badger again. We've probably traveled a whopping 1, maybe 2 miles.
Oh, we've got it gone farther than that.
Oh, I know, I'm kidding. The wind direction has improved, but it's also died. Because the wind direction has improved, we're now steering almost headlong into the rollers. So that's impeding our progress. We've been doing about 3.5, 3.8 knots, somewhere in that range most of the time.
Instead of the 6 to 5.
Yeah, even with 10 knots of wind, which doesn't move this boat fast, but that's what it takes to move this boat. But that'll generally give us a little better than 4 knots or less.
Should.
But we're plowing into it. So, unless something else changes, we may end up motoring part of the day today. Hopefully not. There's Michi. Say Michi. Well, we just passed the Welcome to Michigan sign. Lost an hour, so it is now 2:32 in the afternoon on May 31st, 2025. Saturday. That is 1832 Z, for anybody who cares. And as is probably obvious from the sound, we are on the engine, have been for an hour and a half now, at least. Wind finally died to a point where we were progressing at barely 3 knots. Barely. And we're looking at a very late arrival to wherever we're going to go. We figured it would probably be Manistee, Frankfurt, or what's that? Yeah, or Portage Lake. And we hadn't really done anything. Had nothing in the chart plotter. I got up early this morning and got the parallel rules out and got a rough heading for each place so we could kind of figure out which direction we wanted to go.
What the winds would allow.
With the wind, yeah, exactly. Sailing as close to the wind, how far north could we get? And so we knew not exactly, but had a rough idea what heading was going to get us somewhere. And it was steering us basically towards Betsy Point most of the time. Is that right, Betsy Point?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but when the wind finally died, we started plugging some stuff into the chart plotter. It was 8 hours to Frankfurt from that point, was that right?
Yes.
It was 7 hours to Portage Lake.
6.
And it was 6 to Manistee. And we decided to go with the
Metal?
yeah, Portage Lake. 2 reasons. We've never been there. We've been to Manistee and we've been to Frankfurt. Frankfurt was too far. It's an easy anchorage. We're familiar with it. Manistee, the anchorage, you got to go through 3 bridges, which I don't think is a big deal, but we've never been up there before. So we've been into the marina, but never into the anchorage on...
Except for in the dink.
What's that?
Except for in the dink.
Yeah, we've been up there in the dink, but never in the boat. So anyway, we opted for Portage Lake. Somewhat reluctantly because the reports are not very good. Both active captain and the GLCC report. Well, yeah, weeds. Poor holding, and the GLCC also mentions remnants of the logging days. And what the hell that means, I don't have the slightest idea. So, are we going to lose our anchor and all of our ground tackle because we get snagged on something, or are we just going to not get a good hook because there's going to be a bunch of debris on the bottom? I don't know, but we're going to find out. So we'll get in there about 7:30, 8 o'clock this evening. And the weather today, according to the National Weather Service, the open waters forecast was northerly winds at about 10 to 20 knots, and of course we're motoring in about well under 10 knots of wind. So, and the windy forecast wins the prize on this one. They got it right. I didn't want to look at the windy forecast because I preferred the National Weather Service forecast. Is it too early to start complaining about forecasts again?
First day out.
Yeah, first day out. And I'm not in a very good mood because after we fired up the engine, we started shipping water. And realized that our brand new, as of last year, brand new, just a little over a year old dripless shaft seal is leaking like a sieve. Put it in neutral, slowed down, and it stopped the leak. It stopped dripping. The bilge has been bone dry ever since we went in the water. Stopping the shaft stopped the leak, and then we can run the engine RPMs up to about 2200 RPM without any leak at all. It doesn't drip at all. But much above that, and water starts spraying everywhere. Or if we continue to have problems with it, honestly, I don't think Irish Boat Shop could stay in business if they didn't get, about a week's worth and maybe a couple of haul outs of our business every year to get repairs. What else do you want to talk about?
Wearing reindeer because it was bitter cold this morning.
Yes. Well, this is the entrance to Portage Lake. It is about, didn't look at my watch first once again, 6:48 Central Time, Central Daylight Time on Saturday, May 31st, 2025. That was a long, chilly crossing with too much motoring. Let's hope we get a good anchor set in here because reports are it's pretty poor. Well, I just did a breadcrumb on the cell phone and now it's home movie time on the GoPro. I put a little foam sock on it. I've had for about 2 or 3 years now. I was afraid it would muffle the sound too badly. We did a little experiment down in the cabin. Seemed just fine. We'll see if it controls the wind noise at all. But we crossed the lake yesterday. Very chilly crossing. Started out some pretty decent sailing actually, but the wind died almost entirely long before we got to the state line, so we ended up motoring most of the way across the lake. Nothing unusual there, pretty typical. I hope it's not indicative of the rest of the year. So, and then discovered our dripless shaft seal is leaking like crazy, so at high RPM, so we had to reduce speed, and it's still a reasonable speed. Arrived here about 7 o'clock, a little after 7 o'clock last night. We're a little concerned. Most reports indicate that the anchorage here is a little weedy, or anchorage is. There's more than one. I think you can probably anchor just about anywhere you want on the lake. Getting back down behind the Dodger here because it's pretty chilly out there. But anyway, we got anchored without any problem. First set, I backed down on the anchor, but I didn't back down as hard as I normally would. Kind of in the same vein as not asking any questions you don't want to know the answer to. I didn't want to pull the anchor out and have to start fussing with getting the anchor set again, since the winds are supposed to be fairly light. I'd say they're probably already exceeding the forecast today because, of course, we're not sailing. They're only supposed to be 5 to 10 knots, and looks like it's been 12, maybe sometimes 15. So anyway, we decided to spend a day here because, yeah, even the open water forecast was lighter winds than yesterday, and they were dead calm yesterday. So for most of the latter half of the trip, winds yesterday were supposed to be up to 20 knots, and yeah, it was dead calm or very light out of a totally different direction than they forecast. Again, no surprise. And then today the winds are supposed to be even lighter. Tomorrow is supposed to pick up quite a bit. Winds are supposed to be about, I think they're forecasting now 15 to 20 out of the south. So it will give us a good push across and up the lake. So I think we may end up on Washington Island and Washington Harbor again for a night or two, and then we'll head up to Fayette. That's ultimately where we're trying to get to. So just crisscross the lake a little bit for the fun of it, and then head that way.